This recording is going to cover the organization of the human body, cells, tissues, organs, and systems. The cell. The cell is the smallest recognizable part of the body that is capable of performing all of the activities of life. It is the basic structure and functional unit of an organism. It is a group of chemicals that work together to perform a specific function. A tissue. Tissues are two or more cells or a group of cells arranged to perform a specific function. They are referred to as tissues. Cells make up the tissues of the body. There are four primary or basic tissues of the body: epithelial, connective, nerve, and muscle. Epithelial tissue is tissue that covers the body surfaces by your skin, lines hollow organs, for example, your mouth or esophagus, and is described as being mosaic or tile-shaped in structure or pattern. When epithelial tissue lines the inside of a blood vessel, it is referred to as endothelium or endothelial tissue. When epithelial tissue helps in the formation of glands, it is referred to as glandular epithelial tissue. These cells are specialized to secrete substances like digestive enzymes, hormones, perspiration, and wax. There are three types of glands: exocrine gland, endocrine glands, and heterocrine glands. Exocrine glands secrete their substances or products into ducts that empty into the surface of the body or into a body cavity or hollow organ. Examples will include sweat glands. They secrete sweat. Salivary glands secrete digestive enzymes, and mammary glands, which will secrete milk. Endocrine glands secrete their products, which are hormones, directly into the bloodstream. They are considered to be ductless glands. Examples include the pituitary gland, which secretes the hormone that regulates our growth, which is the growth hormone. The thyroid gland secretes a hormone that is responsible for our metabolism. That hormone is known as thyroxine. The adrenal glands secrete the hormone that is responsible for the flight or fight reaction, and that hormone is known as adrenaline. Remember that endocrine glands will always secrete hormones, and they go directly into the bloodstream. Heterocrine glands are glands that have both an endocrine and exocrine portion. One example is the pancreas. The exocrine portion of the pancreas secretes digestive enzyme. The endocrine portion, which is called the islets of Langerhans or pancreatic islets, secretes the hormone insulin, which regulates the rate of glucose or sugar usage in the body. Connective tissue connects, binds, protects, and supports the body and its organs. It is the most abundant tissue in the body. It is found almost everywhere within the body: bones, cartilage, mucous membrane, muscles, skin, and all internal organs. It consists of a relatively few cells in a generous matrix, which is the ground substance and fibers between the cells. For example, in cartilage, the matrix is firm yet pliable, in contrast to the makeup of bone, which is hard and not pliable. There are 5 categories of connective tissue that we need to know. Dense connective tissue. Dense connective tissue provides strong attachment between structures. You may be familiar with some of the following. A tendon. A tendon connects a muscle to a bone. A ligament connects a bone to bone. An aponeurosis is described as a broad, flat tendon and serves as attachment for a flat muscle with another muscle, so it attaches muscle to muscle, and it can also attach a muscle with a bone. Periosteum will cover bone and is essential for bone growth, nutrition, and repair. Perichondrium is that connective tissue that covers and nourishes cartilage. Fascia is described as being a sheet or band of connective tissue that supports and surrounds muscle and other organs of the body. Adipose connective tissue is tissue that consists of cells specialized to store fat. It is found around the heart and kidneys, in yellow bone marrow, and behind the eye socket. It reduces heat loss through the skin. It serves as an energy reserve, as well as supports and protects the organs of the body. Cartilage. Cartilage endures considerably more stress than other connective tissue. Cartilage is avascular, meaning it has no blood or nerves. It gets its nourishment from the perichondrium. There are 3 types of cartilage. Hyaline cartilage, this is the most abundant cartilage in the body. It affords flexibility and support, is found around joints, and it reduces friction between the bones. It is the weakest of the 3 cartilages. There are 2 types of hyaline cartilage. Articular cartilage, this is a type of hyaline cartilage that is located at the ends of bones. It is called articular cartilage because an articulation or joint is a point of contact between 2 or more bones. Costal cartilage is hyaline cartilage that is located at the ventral or front ends of the ribs where they attach to the sternum or breastbone. Fibrocartilage, this combines strength and rigidity. It is the strongest of the 3 types of cartilage, and it is found between the vertebrae, and that's called our intervertebral discs, in the pubic symphysis, the area where the 2 hip bones join anteriorly. You have elastic cartilage. This type of cartilage maintains the shape of various structures. It is found in the epiglottis, the lid that sits on top of the voice box, the external part of the ear, and the auditory or eustachian tubes. Osseous connective tissue. Osseous tissue is bone. It is the hardest type of connective tissue. Vascular connective tissue refers to blood. Blood is a liquid connective tissue. Nerve tissue initiates and transmits nerve impulses and coordinates the body activities. Muscle tissue is specialized to produce movement in response to nerve impulses. There are 3 types of muscle tissue. Muscle is classified according to both the structure, meaning is it striated or smooth, and its function, meaning is it voluntary or involuntary. Skeletal muscle. It's attached to the bones of the skeleton, hence the name skeletal. It is striating. It means that it has alternating light and dark bands called striations that are visible under a microscope. It is voluntary because we have the conscious control to move as we wish. Cardiac muscle, this forms the wall of the heart. This is striated, but it is involuntary because it is not a consciously controlled movement. Visceral movement. This visceral muscle. This is located in the walls of the hollow internal structures such as blood vessels, airways to the lungs, stomach, intestines, the gallbladder, and the urinary bladder. It is smooth, non-striated. It does not contain any striations, and it is involuntary. Organs. Organs are composed of 2 or more tissues arranged to perform a specific function. They are independent body parts. They are an association of tissues that work together to perform a common function. Examples are the kidney, the ureter, urinary bladder, and the urethra. A system. A system is an associated of organs that have a common function. Examples are the urinary system, the respiratory system, and the digestive system. So I developed a simplified version in a chart to summarize the various basic tissues. So you should look at the chart in your notes. Let's break it down again. 4 primary tissues: epithelial, connective, muscle, and nerve. Epithelial is broken down into glandular epithelial tissue and endothelial tissue. Then you have connective tissue. The categories are dense connective tissue, adipose, cartilage, osseous, and vascular. Now we can take dense connective tissue and break that down further. You will find tendons. They connect muscle to bone. Ligaments connect bone to bone. Aponeurosis is a broad flat tendon, and that connects a muscle to a muscle or muscle to bone. Periosteum, you'll find this around bone. Perichondrium will be found around cartilage, and fascia, these are around muscle. Cartilage, you have 3 types of cartilage: hyaline, fibrous, and elastic. Hyaline is further broken down into 2: articular cartilage, and you'll find that at the ends of our long bones, and costal cartilage at the ventral ends of the ribs. Osseous tissue, that's dealing with your bone, and vascular is dealing with blood. Now let's take muscle. Muscle can be broken down into skeletal, which is striated and voluntary, cardiac, which is striated and involuntary, and visceral, which is smooth and involuntary. And then the last of your primary tissue is nervous tissue.